Hello again, everybody, and welcome back to SFF180. It is Monday morning, May the 2nd already. Time once again for the mailbag. I hope you guys have had a great week and a great weekend. Mine has been really good. As I mentioned, I have a house guest in now and been spending a little time with that situation. It's been wonderful. And getting ready to start the big road trip, the big vacation road trip for early summer. So worry not, because there will continue to be content on the channel. There is another review that is already recorded and done and slated for this week while I'm on the road. And then, of course, I'm taking my mobile studio. Mobile studio meaning basically my phone and mic and tripod and laptop and externals and all of that. So it is entirely possible, as I discovered last year, I can record booktube videos sitting on the side of a mountain if I want to. So no problems there, but it's going to be a lot of fun. I'm taking a lot to read. And so you're going to get content from me from around the country, and it's going to be very, very exciting. But yeah, look for another review video coming up this week. Also, I just posted a retro video on Saturday, so be sure to check that out if you have not done so yet. And other than that, this is going to be the last mailbag you see for about 3 to 4 weeks, but it is a big one. Lots of stuff. Now, mostly these are going to be finished copies. They're going to be copies of things that are already on the stands, but maybe some new and upcoming things, maybe a few surprises. So without further ado, let's get right into it, shall we? So starting out, I have a little handful here from Random Penguin, so we're just going to go down that stack. And we're starting out with a surprise. That's really nice. This is an arc from Angry Robot for a chunky little new fantasy that they have coming out. The author is W.P. Wiles, and this is called The Last Blade Priest. Apparently it comes out on the 12th of July. It says it's an absorbing and original epic fantasy with rich world building and a wry take on genre conventions from a Betty Trask Award-winning author. I'm not familiar with that award, but congratulations to the author for winning it, all the same. Goes like this. A magical mountain, dying avian gods, incipient religious war, a decadent faith steeped in human sacrifice and necromancy, and a world experiencing the first stirrings of enlightenment. Also elves. It says, The Last Blade Priest contains a series of constantly surprising twists and turns that take the reader through a vividly imagined original world full of familiar tensions and surprising perspectives on old tropes. Written across two main characters' POV, Einar, master builder for the kingdom of Mishig Ten, and Anton, blade priest for Kraith, the God Mountain, find that others in their story may have more influence on their lives, on the future of the League, and on their whole world than they or the reader imagined. And then it ends, it says, whatever you do, beware the elves, which I think is just generally good life advice. Period. Right? Okay, so this is released from Angry Robot on the 12th of July, The Last Blade Priest. And here's one that feels like a very thick, heavy hardcover from Random Penguin. All right, I am very ecstatic to see this one. This is the new novel by Guy Gavriel Kay, a true master of the field, absolute master of historical fantasies. He writes secondary world fantasies that are based on actual historical time periods and locations. And this is All the Seas of the World, which I believe takes place in the same world as his previous book, A Brightness Long Ago. This will be out from Berkeley, Random Penguin imprint, on May the 17th. It says, a brilliantly evoked near-Renaissance world, a world like ours but with Kay's signature quarter-turn to the fantastic. Kay weaves these fantastic elements into a meticulously researched and thrilling story that provides moving reflections on memory, fate, and the random events that shape our lives. On a dark night along a lonely stretch of coast, a small ship sends two people ashore. Their purpose is assassination. They have been hired by two of the most dangerous men alive to alter the balance of power in the world. If they succeed, the consequences will affect the destinies of empires and lives both great and small. One of those arriving at that beach is a woman abducted by corsairs as a child and sold into years of servitude. Having escaped, she's trying to chart her own course and is bent upon revenge. Another is a seafaring merchant who still remembers being exiled as a child with his family from their home for their faith, a moment that never leaves him. In what follows, through a story both intimate and epic, unforgettable characters are immersed in the fierce and deadly struggles that define their time. Okay, wow. Well, very excited for this. All the Seas of the World by Guy Gavriel Kay on May the 17th. And here also from Random Penguin, to be precise, Daw Books, we have Kingdoms of Death, which is the 4th volume in the Sun Eater series by Christopher Rocchio. This is a series that is getting, space opera series basically, that's getting quite a mixed reaction. It has its huge fans and it has some very vocal detractors. But this one I think is available now. I believe it came out maybe a couple, 3 weeks ago from Daw Books in hardcover. And like I said, I don't really want to give too much in terms of a synopsis to avoid spoilers. But if you are a fan of the series, then Book 4, another chunky tome, is out now in hardcover from Daw Books, Kingdoms of Death. And here's another one I'm very, very happy to get. This is the new novel by Emily St. John Mandel, Sea of Tranquility. Now, of course, she is the author of Station 11, which has just been turned into an excellent miniseries. And so I guess she's having a moment right now. And so Sea of Tranquility is the new one. Let's see. Yeah, there's no sell sheet. So anyway, it says, the award-winning best-selling author of Station 11 and The Glass Hotel returns with a novel of art, time, love, and plague that takes the reader from Vancouver Island in 1912 to a dark colony on the moon nearly 500 years later, unfurling a story of humanity across centuries and space. Edwin St. Andrew is 18 years old when he crosses the Atlantic by steamship, exiled from polite English society following an ill-conceived diatribe at a dinner party. I like him already. He enters the forest, spellbound by the beauty of the Canadian wilderness, and suddenly hears the notes of a violin echoing in an airship terminal, an experience that shocks him to his core. 2 centuries later, a famous writer named Olive Llewellyn is on a book tour. She's traveling all over Earth, but her home is the Second Moon Colony, a place of white stone, spired towers, and artificial beauty. Within the text of Olive's best-selling pandemic novel lies a strange passage. A man plays his violin for spare change in the echoing corridor of an airship terminal as the trees of a forest rise around him. When Gasperi Roberts, a hotel detective in the black-skied Night City, is hired to investigate an anomaly in the North American wilderness, he uncovers a series of lives upended, the exiled son of an earl driven to madness, a writer trapped far from home as a pandemic ravages Earth, and a childhood friend from the Night City who, like Gasperi himself, has glimpsed the chance to do something extraordinary that will disrupt the timeline of the universe. A virtuoso performance that is as human and tender as it is intellectually playful, Sea of Tranquility is a novel of time travel and metaphysics that precisely captures the reality of our current moment. Yes, this sounds really, really captivating, and it is available now. Sea of Tranquility by Emily St. John Mandel. And here is a package from HarperCollins. Very nice to have the finished copy of this. This is the Memory Librarian and Other Stories of Dirty Computer by Janelle Monáe. Now, Janelle Monáe is a musician. Her album, Dirty Computer, is this very science fiction-themed concept album, as it were. And now these are a bunch of stories that she's written in collaboration with some other writers, including Alea Dawn Johnson, Danny Lore, Eve L. Ewing, Johansa Delgado, and Cherie Renee Thomas. Says they have delivered a sexy, soulful, and dissident collection of tales that expands the bold vision of Dirty Computer, in which Monáe introduced us to a world where people's memories, a key to self-expression and self-understanding, could be controlled or erased by an increasingly powerful few. And whether human, AI, or something in between, citizens' lives and sentience were dictated by those of the New Dawn, who convinced themselves they had the right to decide fate. That was until Jane 57821 remembered and broke free. Grown from the soil of that mythos, the stories in the Memory Librarian explore the lives of those living in the heart and at the edges of a growing surveillance-hungry totalitarian order, striving to see and hold on to their dirtiness without being tracked down and cleaned. Perfect for fans of Octavia Butler, Ted Chiang, Becky Chambers, and Nydia Corafor. Memory Librarian is a story collection filled with the artistic innovation and brave themes that have made Janelle Monáe a global influence, a collection that sees our battles about gender identity, political violence, and sexuality as matters of space, time, love, and of course the power of memory. And this one actually came out on the 19th of April, so it's been out a couple of weeks. In hardcover from Harper Voyager, The Memory Librarian. So now we're going to look at some packages from Macmillan. Most of these, again, very likely to be Tor titles. So we're going to start out here with a couple of Tor.com novellas and short novels that they very kindly sent me in finished copy form. The first of these is Kundo Wakes Up. This is by Saad Z. Hossein, and I believe that this is the sequel, or set in the same universe as his earlier Tor.com novella, which was called The Gurkha and the Lord of Tuesday. Came out, I think, in like 2019 or something. Anyway, let's see what it says for itself. It says, hundreds of miles away from the techno-utopia of Kathmandu, the all-powerful, all-seeing AI known as Karma has gone silent, leaving the ravaged city of Chittagong, along with all its remaining residents, to continue its inexorable fall into the sea. Kundo, once a famous artist with the karma points to prove it, goes searching for his missing wife, only to uncover more inexplicable disappearances. And so Kundo and a group of motley companions embark on a tumultuous journey through an overwhelming maze made up of Chittagong's neighborhoods, the hidden back rooms of video game parlors, and the depths of cyberspace, culminating in the realm of the Jinn themselves, in search of love, redemption, and a good meal. Okay, I mean, I just absolutely love this sort of South Asian influenced fantasy, but Kundo Wakes Up, available now from Tor.com Publishing. And next we have Rosebud by Paul Cornell, a new novella from Tor.com Publishing also, and it goes like this. Cutting-edge science fiction from a writer at the very top of their game, says Gareth L. Powell. It says, the crew of the Rosebud are, currently, and by force of law, a balloon, a goth, some sort of science aristocrat, possibly, a ball of hands, and a swarm of insects. When 5 sentient digital beings, condemned for more than 300 years to crew a small survey ship by the all-powerful company, encounter a mysterious black sphere, their course of action is clear. Obtain the object, inform the company, earn lots of praise. But the ship malfunctions, and the crew has no choice but to approach the sphere and survey it themselves. They have no idea that this object and the transcendent truth hidden within will change the fate of all existence, the company, and themselves. Okay, so it sounds like it's also been kind of compared to Douglas Adams. So it sounds like a humorous space opera romp, Rosebud by Paul Cornell from Tor.com. And next up from Macmillan, from Tor, we have this gorgeous copy in hardcover of T. Kingfisher's new short novel, Nettle and Bone. Gosh, it's just beautiful, isn't it? Let's see, does it have a... T. Kingfisher is Ursula Vernon's pseudonym for when she does horror and dark fantasy. So it says, Mara never wanted to be a hero. As the shy, convent-raised, third-born daughter, she escaped the traditional fate of princesses, to be married away for the sake of an uncaring throne. But her sister wasn't so fortunate, and after years of silence, Mara is done watching her suffer at the hands of a powerful and abusive prince. Seeking help for her rescue mission, Mara is offered the tools she needs, but only if she can complete 3 seemingly impossible tasks. Build a dog of bones, sew a cloak of nettles, capture moonlight in a jar. But as is the way in tales of princes and witches, doing the impossible is only the beginning. Hero or not, and now joined by a disgraced ex-knight, a reluctant fairy godmother, and an enigmatic grave witch, and her foul familiar, F-O-W-L, foul familiar, Mara might finally have the courage to save her sister and topple a throne. All right, and it all takes place in Nettle and Bone from Tor. All right, so now we have a couple of books from the Hatchet group. Okay, so here's one that's been out now a little while, but it's very nice of them to go ahead and send me the finished copy. And this is City of Dusk by Tara Sim. Tara Sim, I think, has been a YA author for a while, but this is the first adult epic fantasy that she has written. It's the first in something called The Dark Gods, whether it's a trilogy, duology, I don't know offhand, but let's see what the City of Dusk has to say for itself. For every realm there is a god, for every god there is an heir, and for every heir there is a price. Enter a world of bone and shadow magic, of vengeful gods and defiant chosen ones in the City of Dusk. The first book in the Dark Gods trilogy. Well, there it is. All right, Thomas, just read the thing. From a stunning new voice in epic fantasy. The four realms, life, death, light, and darkness, all converge on the City of Dusk, but the gods have withdrawn their favor from the once thriving and vibrant metropolis, and without it, all the realms are dying. Unwilling to stand by and watch the destruction, the four heirs to divine power, Angelica, an elementalist with her eyes set on the throne, Risha, a necromancer fighting to keep the peace, Nicholas, a soldier who struggles to see the light, and Taisia, a shadow-wielding rogue with a reckless heart, will become reluctant allies in the quest to save their city, but their rebellion will cost them dearly. Okay, and so it's available now, City of Dusk by Tara Sim from Orbit. And also from Hachette, but this is in their Red Hook line. Absolutely stunning book here. This is a new novel called Kaikei. The author is Vaishnavi Patel. This is, as you can see, South Asian fantasy. I mean, just what a gorgeous, gorgeous frickin' edition. I mean, wow. Okay. Well, let's check this one out. It says, I was born on the full moon, under an auspicious constellation, the holiest of positions. Much good it did me. So begins Kaikei's story, the only daughter of the kingdom of Kaikei. She is probably Kaikei. She is raised on tales of the gods, how they churned the vast ocean to obtain the nectar of immortality, how they vanquish evil and ensure the land of Bharat prospers. Okay, the land of Bharat. Yeah. And how they offer powerful boons to the worthy. Yet she watches as her father unceremoniously banishes her mother, listens as her own worth is reduced to the marriage alliance she can secure, and when she calls upon the gods for help, they never seem to hear. Desperate for independence, she turns to the texts she once read with her mother, and discovers a magic that is hers alone. With it, Kaikei transforms herself from an overlooked princess into a warrior, diplomat, and most favored queen. But as the evil from her childhood stories threatens the cosmic order, the path she has forged clashes with the destiny the gods have chosen for her family, and Kaikei must decide if resistance is worth the destruction it will wreak, and what legacy she intends to leave behind. Okay. I mean, for the template of it sounds like it could very easily be a YA, but it is marketed as adult. And like I said, it is probably, I am anticipating some really rich and immersive world building from this one at the very least. But Kaikei by Vaishnavi Patel from Red Hook Publishing. All right, going back to some Macmillan titles I overlooked. This is new from the Tor Essentials line, and it is Worlds of Exile and Illusion. This is a bind-up of the entire original Hainish trilogy. Classic trilogy by Ursula Le Guin. So you have Rokanan's World, Planet of Exile, and City of Illusions together. Now, these have been available in many forms. In fact, I think this version of this bind-up has already been out from Tor for many years, but now they've repackaged it for the Tor Essentials line, just keeping this old classic Le Guin stuff alive. So, you know, nothing wrong with that. But Worlds of Exile and Illusion, it's available now. It says 3 remarkable journeys into the stars. These 3 spacefaring adventures mark the beginning of Grandmaster Ursula K. Le Guin's remarkable career. Set in the same universe as Le Guin's groundbreaking classics The Left Hand of Darkness and The Dispossessed, these first 3 books of the celebrated Hainish series follow travelers of many worlds and civilizations in the depths of space. And so the novels collected in this Tor Essentials edition are the first 3 ever published by Le Guin. So there you are, and it has a new introduction by Amal El-Matar. Okay, so available now from Tor Essentials, Worlds of Exile and Illusion. And another Tor.com short novel that I'm really excited for, because this one seems like it's completely right up my street. This is called And Then I Woke Up. The author is Malcolm Devlin. And it says it's in a world reeling from unusual plague. Monsters lurk in the streets, while terrified survivors arm themselves and roam the countryside in packs. Or perhaps something very different is happening. When a disease affects how reality is perceived, it's hard to be certain of anything. Spence is one of the cured living at the Ironside Rehabilitation Facility. Haunted by guilt, he refuses to face the changed world until a new inmate challenges him to help her find her old crew. But if he can't tell the truth from the lies, how will he know if he has earned the redemption he dreams of? How will he know he hasn't just made things worse? Wow, okay, so the idea is that this is a plague that alters your perception of objective reality, and everyone's perception is altered differently. So we're all kind of seeing and experiencing different things. Some people are experiencing monsters. Some people are experiencing something else weird. That's intriguing. I dig it. So, and then I woke up, available from Tor.com Publishing. Okay, so getting down to the bottom of the pile, and I have a couple in here from Saga Press. And the first of these is the finished copy at last of Fevered Star by Rebecca Roanhorse. This is her sequel to Black Sun. Again, I don't want to give away any spoilers by reading the synopsis, but I already got this as an ARC, I think a couple of episodes ago on the Mailbag, and I read the synopsis then. But if you've read Black Sun, you're ready for this one, so here it is. And watch very soon for reviews just of the whole duology, as well as some other catch-up stuff from Rebecca Roanhorse that I've been meaning to get to forever and just, haven't. So look for that very soon on the channel. But Fevered Star is now available in hardcover from Saga Press. And also from Saga is the second book in their reprint series of Michael Moorcock's original Elric of Melniboné novels. Very exciting. This one is Stormbringer. It's huge. It's got, I believe, 4 novels in it. And here's the thing in particular that excites me about this reprint edition. You see this cover right here? That artwork is the same Michael Whelan cover artwork that appeared on Daw Books' paperback edition of Stormbringer that they put out in like the 70s, right? Still a perfectly awesome painting, so I love it when the original covers are re-released and kept alive, the original paintings. So, Stormbringer, now this edition contains 4 novels in the series, and again, I think he's doing them in sort of a preferred reading order, not necessarily the original publication order. So these are, the first one is The Vanishing Tower, followed by The Revenge of the Rose, followed by The Bane of the Black Sword, and then finally Stormbringer. So 4 books. And I believe there are going to be, there are more volumes coming from Saga, including, I believe, towards the end of the year, an all-new Elric novel. So that'll be something very interesting to look forward to. But Stormbringer available now from Saga Press. Okay, I'm not familiar with Start Midnight, LLC. Not familiar with this. Yes, I remember now. I have emailed with this publicist, independent publicist, but this is really nice to see. This is the Hourglass Throne. It comes in from Pyre Books. Good to see something new from Pyre. And this is the final volume, the long-anticipated final volume in a trilogy called the Tarot Sequence, which has gotten a whole lot of praise. The first couple of books in it were, I believe, the Hanged Man and The Last Son. And okay, and it's a LGBT fantasy. Let's see what I can read here. It says, a runaway train ride in the dark. The balance of character and story development is perfect. Every thought, spoken word, and surprise has its purpose. It may not come to mean what the reader might anticipate it to mean, but it all comes together like a perfect jigsaw puzzle. Let's see. So it says, it's probably easier to go to some of these review quotes here. An alternate modern world that is at once unusual and familiar, with a grand interplay of powers formed by family and the supernatural. Intriguing characters, a fast-paced mystery, and an original magical hierarchy will immediately hook readers. Okay, so this is the Hourglass Throne, and I really feel like I need to go ahead, review these, get to these, because I don't know if it's just the fact that it came out from Pyre, and, their presence in the marketplace is not as strong as it was, back in the 2000s, shall we say, their heyday. Whatever, I feel like this trilogy is, like, really, really respected and loved by the people who know about it, but mostly probably overlooked, so maybe time to correct that balance. But the third book is now available, or available soon, from Pyre. And finally, I am saving the shiniest package for last. Really pretty shiny red envelope. Let's see if I can get it to reflect in the camera. I don't know if I can. All right, let's check this one out. Okay, well, this is one of the spiffiest arcs I have seen in a long time. This is for a book called Monsters Born and Made by Tanvi Berwa. This is from Sourcebooks, and it's in a slipcase, as you see, with some fancy stuff in it. So let's go ahead and cut this open. I think it's absolutely wild when publishers make their arcs as pretty or even prettier than the than the finished copies. Yeah, I mean, this is a fancy slipcase with spot varnish and everything. It says, "Welcome to the Glory Race." It says, "Admit one," and this golden ticket can come out, which I guess maybe doubles as a bookmark. It says, "The Glory Race, 150th anniversary, September 6, 2022. General admission," what's upside down, golden ticket. Okay, and on the back, there's a quote from the book. And then here is the arc itself. Monsters Born and Made. Well, let's see what they went to all this trouble for, shall we? 16-year-old Coral, this is a YA, 16-year-old Coral and her brother Emmerich risk their lives to capture the monstrous maristags that live in the Black Seas around their island. They have to, or else their family will starve. In an oceanic world swarming with vicious beasts, the ruling elite have indentured her family to provide the maristags for the Glory Race, a deadly chariot tournament reserved for the upper class. The winner receives gold and glory. The losers, if they're lucky, survive. When Coral fails to capture a maristag for this year's race, her family can't afford medicine for her chronically ill little sister. Coral's only choice, see, the healthcare we need, it's so bad, right? I mean, and insurance, terrible. Coral's only choice is to do what no one has ever dared, cheat her way into the Glory Race. But Coral must race against contenders who have trained their whole lives and have no intention of letting a low-caste girl steal their glory. When riots break out, Coral has to do more than win the race. She'll have to stop the whole island from burning. Well, there you go, Coral. You started riots and everything. Crazy. Anyway, well, quite a beautiful edition, so let's hope... And the story sounds exciting, so I like it. Fresh take, oceanic world. So they're having to ride, I guess, on these giant seahorses or something. But Monsters Born and Made by Tanvi Berwa, out in September 22nd from Sourcebooks. And there you have it. A huge pile this week. So you guys know the drill. Light up those comments. Let me know which of these looks most interesting and exciting to you and which you would like to see me prioritize for review on my long road trip. Otherwise, if you enjoyed watching, of course, please hit that like button, share the video far and wide with all of your SFF reading friends, and above all, please subscribe if you have not done so, because that is how the channel grows. You can also support the channel at my TeePublic store and at my Patreon, where recruits into Wink's Army get little perks, like occasionally, when I finish them early enough, getting early access to some of my videos. But mainly, I use the Patreon money to pay Matt Olson, my brilliantly talented channel artist who does all my lovely and fun thumbnails for me, so thank you all very much for that added support. I want to thank the rest of you guys for being the very best viewers in all of BookTube, and... Until I see all of you next time, stay safe and healthy, and happy reading.